What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated 3-division, 5-time world champion superstar boxer, who is widely considered by many to be one of the faces, if not the face of the sport of boxing, Gervonta "Tank" Davis, who is 29 wins, no loss, no draw, 27 wins by way of knockout. He is 28 years of age. He'll be 29 years of age next week. 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. I thought it was funny. Gervonta "Tank" Davis, many people sent me this and I saw this, took to social media, and he said he ran former super featherweight WBA star title contender Christopher Little B Hop, the alien primetime Colbert, who is 17 wins, 1 loss, no draws, 6 wins by way of knockout, 27 years of age, 5'8" with a 71-inch arm reach. He stated that he ran Little B Hop up out of Baltimore, right? He ran him out of town. And he said, I don't know how Little B Hop, Chris Colbert, is calling me out when I just ran him out of town, out of the gym, in the sparring session. I guess he's alluding to either they sparred or it was opportunity to spar, and he didn't want the sparring session, so he left. So he said he ran him up out of town, right? Little B Hop was calling out Tank Davis, and he's been linked to a Tank Davis fight for a while now. But Little B Hop shockingly lost to the man Tank Davis beat in January, which is Hector Garcia. Hector Garcia dropped Little B Hop. This was a fill-in fight, okay? Hector Garcia is now the WBA super featherweight world champion, and he was formerly undefeated. He's 16 wins, 1 loss, no draw, 10 wins by way of knockout, 31 years of age, 5'9" with a 67-inch arm reach, and he's a southpaw. That loss came at the hands of Gervonta "Tank" Davis, who stopped him in the 9th round of their fight. But nonetheless, Hector Garcia had beaten Chris Colbert. Chris Colbert is supposed to fight against Roger Gutierrez for the WBA title, but Roger Gutierrez tested positive for the C-19. He had to pull out the fight, and Hector Garcia filled in for Gutierrez, and Hector Garcia shockingly put on the best performance of his career, dropping Chris Colbert. It looked like he was on the verge of stopping him. Chris Colbert, many people felt like he packed it in. He didn't put his best foot forward. He started, after getting dropped and feeling the power, he started just trying to survive. And then Tank Davis fought Hector Garcia January 7th of 2023 and stopped him in the 9th round. So that would have been Chris Colbert, or that could have been Chris Colbert, right? If Chris Colbert would have beaten Hector Garcia and then went on to beat Roger Gutierrez in the rescheduled date, that could have very well been Chris Colbert versus Tank Davis. And they was talking about Chris Colbert in a possible fight with Shakur Stevenson. So those are 2 fights that Chris Colbert missed out on. He's never shy with confidence. He's one of the most confident fighters in all of boxing, Chris Colbert is. And so Chris Colbert feels like he's confident he could beat Gervonta "Tank" Davis, Shakur Stevenson. He went back and forth with both guys. Now he had a fight with Venezuela, right? Jose Venezuela, El Rayo. And I thought that he lost that fight against El Rayo. That was March of this year. He won a unanimous decision over Jose Venezuela, but I thought he actually lost the fight. He got dropped in the fight. I thought El Rayo landed all the big punches, the more meaningful, hurting punches. El Rayo is now 12 wins, 2 losses, no draws, 8 wins by way of knockout. One time in his career, he was knocked out. 24 years of age, 5'10" with a 70-inch arm reach, and he's a southpaw. Another unfortunate situation because El Rayo got knocked out by Edwin De Los Santos, and Edwin De Los Santos is now going to fight Shakur Stevenson. Again, this could be Chris Colbert's fights, right? It could be Chris Colbert fights, but nonetheless, he came up short. I think Chris Colbert is just too small for Gervonta Tank Davis. He's too small for 135. His power was null and void against Jose Valenzuela, and his punch resistance wasn't there. So I just think that Tank Davis knocks him out. He's a pure boxer. He's skilled. He's talented. He's elusive. But I think that 130 is the max out for Chris Colbert. I don't think he should go above 130. And I think that, he's been in some rough fights, but there's talks that he's going to rematch El Rayo. El Rayo, I thought, made a lot of grave mistakes in that fight that cost him the fight. His judge of distance wasn't very good. He didn't fire Jose Benavidez Sr. Meanwhile, the adjustments should have been on the part of him in the ring. You can clearly see he was misjudging distance against Chris Colbert. He had hurt him. Every time he hit him, he hurt him. He dropped him already. And then he just started swinging for the fences, getting sloppy. Chris Colbert is not, by any stretch of imagination, a bum of a fighter. He's a very good boxer. He just doesn't have the punch resistance, and he's not a big puncher. He's a pure boxer that I believe is just fighting above his weight class. I think he just should be competing at 126. That's the weight class I think Chris Colbert should be competing at. I just think the guys at 130, 135 is just too big for him, and I think the punch resistance is not there. He's a pure boxer with respectable power, but he just don't have enough to keep you off of him. And, at times he decides to, you don't always need power to keep your opponent. You could be slick and outbox him, but then at times he decides to get in these exchanges. And when he gets in these exchanges, he gets clipped, right? And he don't have the punch resistance. So I just think that if he fought at 126, I think that better suits Chris Colbert in his career with his skill set. He fights Gervonta Tank Davis. I think that's going to get ugly and ugly quickly. I just think Gervonta Tank Davis is too strong. He's too big. Chris Colbert is taller than him, and he has longer arms, but his frame is not as stocky and durable as Gervonta Tank Davis. Chris Colbert's balance is not as good as Gervonta Tank Davis. So I just think that that's a terrible matchup for Chris Colbert. And Tank Davis is the ultimate boxer, puncher. He can box, he can bang, he's durable, he got a sturdy chin, has an extremely high ring IQ, fast hands, fast feet. Terrible matchup for Chris Colbert. Absolutely terrible matchup. Because for one, Chris Colbert is not a big puncher, and two, Tank Davis is arguably one of the most durable fighters in boxing, if not the most durable fighter in boxing. So you can't hurt fighters that are not the most durable, let alone the most durable, and you don't have power. Like, that's just a recipe for disaster, in my opinion. And so I think that Tank Davis said he ran him up out of town and was looking to spar him. I gather he was either looking to spar him, or he was looking to, or they did spar and he got the best of him, and Chris Colbert, got up out of town. So let's see how it unfolds and plays out moving forward. But again, like I said, that's a meaningless fight for me for Gervonta Tank Davis. Meaningless. I don't think that benefits Gervonta Tank Davis in no way, shape, form, or fashion at all. I just don't see how that helps out Gervonta Tank Davis. I don't see it don't elevate his career. Is it a big fight, a big money maker? I don't believe so. I just think it's just meaningless all the way around. Like, I don't think that he's gonna get a bunch of credit. Now his mentor longtime trainer, big brother, father, uncle figure, Coach Calvin Ford, recently stated that, he stated that, that Tank Davis can have a warm-up, tune-up fight when he comes back. So let's see how that unfolds and plays out. But that's all I got for y'all, man. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV. All one word. So all I got for y'all. I'm gone. Peace.